Venice, the floating city, built on 118 islands, linked by more than 400 bridges and carved by 170 canals, it stood for centuries as one of the most astonishing cities in Europe. According to legend, the city was born in the year 421, when refugees fled from barbarian invasions, Visigoths and Huns, and sought shelter in the marshes of the Venetian lagoon. They could not have known they were laying the foundations of a state that would last more than a millennium. In this video, we follow the rise and fall of the Republic of Venice, how a poor island settlement became a maritime superpower, a cultural and commercial giant, and one of the most stable political systems in European history. La Serenissima, the most serene, but only in name. In 568, the Lombards crossed the Alps and invaded northern Italy. Fearing destruction, people fled from the mainland to the lagoon swamps. There, in isolation and danger, self-governing communities began to form, still formally under Byzantine influence. The atmosphere was filled with uncertainty, but also hope that this vast watery refuge would become a safe haven. In the 7th century, these communities coalesced into maritime Venice, a duchy within the Byzantine system, headquartered on the island of Rialto. Tradition holds that Paolo Lucio Anafesto became the first Doge in 697. While historical proof is uncertain, this date marks the symbolic birth of the Venetian state. Its political and social structure was not built overnight, but was a slow process of maturation and adaptation. The position of Doge was not hereditary. From the late 9th century onward, it was elected in a system blending aristocratic control with popular approval. Key institutions were formed: the Great Council, the Minor Council, the Council of 40, and the famous Council of 10. From its earliest days, Venice crafted a government without kings, powerful but checked. This balance was the foundation of its longevity. While Western Europe still recovered from Rome's fall, Venice turned seaward. Trade with Byzantium and the East brought wealth, and combating piracy in the Adriatic ensured the safety of merchant vessels. Every success shaped the Venetian collective identity deeply. In the year 1000, Doge Pietro II or Ciolo launched a campaign against Dalmatian pirates and secured Venetian dominance along the Adriatic, from Istria to Dubrovnik. From this moment, Venice would rule the sea for centuries. This dominance was hard-won and demanded constant readiness both on land and at sea. In the 12th century, Byzantine emperors granted the Venetians enormous commercial privileges, especially through the Crucible of 1082. This gave them tax exemptions in Constantinople, Durazzo, and other ports. Trade flourished, but rivalry grew. Venice clashed with rival maritime republics, Ancona, Pisa, and especially Genoa. The climax came during the Fourth Crusade in 1204, when Venetian forces diverted the crusade to capture Constantinople. This event brought Venice, Cyprus, Crete, islands in the Aegean, and cities on the Peloponnese, a vast trade empire. Managing and defending these far-flung territories kept the Republic constantly alert. Between the 13th and 15th centuries, Venice reached its golden age. Politically, it stabilized. A decisive moment came in 1297 with the Serrata, the closing of the Great Council. This act effectively froze the ruling class and turned Venice into a formal aristocratic republic. Institutions operated with precision. The Great Council, the Senate, the Council of 10, all collectively ensured balance and continuity. Meanwhile, Venice expanded onto the mainland, Padua, Verona, Vicenza, forming the Stato di Terraferma. This mainland expansion required delicate balancing of local interests and preservation of Venetian identity. Culturally, Venice shone as a beacon. In 1474, it passed Europe's first patent law protecting innovation. Venetian mapmakers like Jacopo da Barbari set cartographic standards. The city became a financial hub. In 1587, it established the Banco della Piazza di Rialto, one of Europe's first public banks. These innovations bolstered Venice's reputation beyond trade. But decline was inevitable. From the 16th century onward, the world's trade centers shifted. The Atlantic replaced the Mediterranean as the heart of commerce. Spain and Portugal built global empires, and Venice's monopoly slipped. At the same time, the Ottoman Empire emerged as Venice's main rival. Long and costly wars were fought over Crete, the Morea, and by 1718, nearly all Venetian holdings in the Aegean were lost. This era brought uncertainty, but also a reminder of the city's former glory. Venice remained culturally vibrant. Art, music, literature, and festivals thrived. The city became synonymous with elegance and refinement. Tourists, artists, and aristocrats flocked to its canals, theaters, and salons. This spirit pervaded every square and waterway. But its strength no longer lay in cannons, but memories. Its traditions, art, and culture endured even as political power faded. By the late 18th century, Venice tried to stay neutral amid revolution and war engulfing Europe. But neutrality could not save it. The world changed, and old orders crumbled. In 1797, Napoleon Bonaparte invaded northern Italy. His army was modern, mobile, ideological, a sharp contrast to stagnant Venice. When Doge Ludovico Manin refused to admit French democratic ideas, Napoleon issued an ultimatum. On May 12th, Manin abdicated and the Great Council dissolved. After more than 1,100 years, the Republic ceased to exist. This moment marked the end of an era and the beginning of uncertainty. France and Austria secretly agreed to divide Venetian lands. The Treaty of Leoben gave Austria Venetian possessions in the Balkans while France took Lombardy. Venice had been bargained away before the war ended. Later that year, the Treaty of Campo Formio confirmed the partition. Austria took Veneto, Istria, and Dalmatia, while France took western mainland territories. A new border was drawn just west of the Adige River. Decisions made behind closed doors laid the foundation for a new regional order. To young Italian Republicans like the poet Ugo Foscolo, this was betrayal. Venice, symbol of liberty, died without a shot fired. Its death was political and deeply emotional for those who believed in the Republic's ideals. Although Venice's economic might waned over centuries, its political stability and institutions remained admired into the 18th century. Enlightenment thinkers studied its model, a state without monarchy, with clear separation of powers and balance. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, while secretary to the French ambassador in Venice, found inspiration in the Republic. His later work, The Social Contract, echoes ideas he witnessed: freedom, law, and balanced governance. Venice's strength lay not in armies, but in institutions, wealth, diplomacy, and longevity. Its complexity and uniqueness continue to fascinate and inspire. Venice did not fall because it weakened. It fell because the world around it changed. Its story is not only one of decline, but of endurance in a changing world. Thus, the most serene republic passed into history, leaving behind a legacy of beauty, order, and endurance unmatched anywhere else.